guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm really loving it. Like, you people are coming in early. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Adegbeyin Bebumi, thank you for coming. Mrs. Oluchi, thank you for coming. Zini, thank you for coming. Happy International Day of the Midwife. Thank you all for joining in. As you all know, my name is Showunmioclock Oshifoduri, and this is my Instagram page. So today is a phenomenal day. I'm trying to share the flyer. Yes, today is our International Day of the Midwife. It's a day that has been set apart to, celebrate the midwives. I know so many people who are midwives who will be joining us soon or who are already in the live section. Thank you so much for, upholding this career. Midwifery is one of the most interesting, rewarding, stressful, underpaid, underappreciated careers, but we are still there and we are doing exploit. Thank you so, so much. Shatmosu, thank you for joining. Is today not your wedding? What are you doing here? Go back to where you're supposed to be. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please, thank you for joining, everyone. It's pleasurable to be able to put this together in a very short period of time. I'm going to appreciate especially the people that are going to be coming on live, that are going to be on this section with me. You can see their name on the flyer. I really appreciate them because it was such an impromptu meeting, and they agreed to come live with me. Thank you so much, everyone. So today we are going to be talking about, apart from speaking on the theme of this year's International Midwifery Conference, which is Together Again, from Evidence to Reality. We would also be talking about navigating your midwifery career. I know this is one of the most, is the most, would I say, unseen topic here for midwives. It's the most unseen topic because where I trained in Nigeria. Where I trained, it was so hard for you to see someone who was a midwife without being a nurse. So midwifery was so underrated. Like people were like, oh, some people would even ask you, you're doing midwifery. Why did you do midwifery? Go and do your nursing. Why did you do this? Go and do your nursing. And as a student midwife, for the first year, we did nursing posting. And for the second year, we did midwifery. In the first year, I loved the nursing, this time because, we had to take care of people. But in the second year, when we did midwifery, I was like, I'm not going back to nursing. This is where we die. We die here. Like, I love midwifery. No. I'm not going anywhere again. So, the passion I had for midwifery, when I was in school and someone was telling me to, go back to do nursing, I was like, I did not understand. Like, why would you be asking me to do nursing when I could actually do midwifery? I know we are not there yet, but I hope in the nearest future, we are going to be moving midwifery in Nigeria also to the global scale. Welcome, everybody. I'm just going to, accept the request of of my fellow colleagues that are coming on live. I don't know. I can't accept it. Let me just invite you. I'm going to invite Fidelia. Oh, it's accepted. Hello. You're live. Hello. Welcome. So I'm just trying to, I'm trying to add these people to come online. I'm just going to try my best again to add them. Yeah. So as you're saying, midwifery is one of the underrated career in African countries. So when I got a midwife tutor, then she was going to Canada. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, she's going to Canada. So from there, she enlightened us to say, you know what, people going to Canada and other countries, other developed countries, you can study midwifery without being able to study midwifery. Please, guys, can you hear me? Someone is saying they can't hear me. Please, if you can hear me in the comment section, just put you can hear me, please. Please, can you hear me? Oh my goodness. Someone said they couldn't hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just drop in the comment section for. Oh yeah, you can hear me. Thank you, Ruth, for answering that question. Loud and clear. Oh, thank you so much, Kemi. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. So, Amon, I can add you to the group. Can you just upgrade your Instagram? Can you upgrade your Instagram app? I'm unable to add you to the live video. So, as I was saying, my midwifery tutor then just, told me that we could actually study midwifery without being a nurse. And I was so happy. Since then, I held it, to my right hand, and I was like, whenever I finish my midwifery program, I was going to, study midwifery in the university. But like, as we were going, I was able to like, okay, this is what I really want to do. This is really what I want to do. And at the end of the day, sorry, I'm trying to add people on the live video. Okay. Sorry, if you're meant to be on the live video, please send me a request. I think I'm finding it difficult to add people from here. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you for joining our live video. I was just trying to, give a background story on how midwifery career is being vetted, in the African country. So welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself, and how long have you been a midwife for? Do you want to introduce yourself, and how long have you been a midwife for?
Okay. Okay, let me go inside it. My name is Oluchi, and I've been a midwife for the past 6 years, and I've loved it. I've loved every moment of it. I've never regretted it for one bit. It's a thing of joy, and I love being a midwife, and I'll continue to be a midwife.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. So before every other person joins us, what would you say? How would you tell someone who is just starting out in their midwifery career? How would you encourage them to navigate their career, like to get to the peak of their career, if you needed to tell someone about midwifery?
Well, I've always told people, nursing, people always believe the fact that it's nursing, or nothing else. But back then, when I did my midwifery, I was hoping to go back to do my nursing. But when I started seeing the reasons why I don't need nursing anymore, I decided to tell myself that, sure, this I can actually travel with midwifery and work. And even with the information I get to hear from people overseas, that even midwives are well paid compared to nurses, I was like, okay, yes. I started telling my youngsters that are yet to become a midwife that, my dear, if you get admission to study midwifery, please grab it. It's now hot cake. Because we are underrated here in Nigeria, doesn't mean that you can't use it elsewhere. And with time, I believe with time, Nigeria will start appreciating us with time, and it's really going to happen, definitely.
Okay, thank you so much for your intake. I'm still trying to add the other speakers to live video because I don't know why it is actually add them on. Okay, so like the theme says, it sets together from evidence to reality. You know, COVID has happened, everything has happened, the world is changing, the world is seeing things in different light entirely. So, midwives, what I tell people is that if you want to be a midwife, the first thing I'm going to encourage you to do is to be skillful. Know your onions. Like, to be able to navigate your midwifery career, you need to be skillful, because midwifery, it's kind of a profession whereby you need your hands, you need your brain, you need to know what you're doing. For example, you cannot be a midwife and you don't know how to suture. No matter how bad it is, you need to learn it. You need to learn it. You need to learn it. Like, even if it's going to take years on years, but these are the basis of midwifery. They are the core midwifery aspect. And midwives need to embrace that. They need their skills. You understand? A lot of people, they shy away from the fact that maybe in the country where you are, I'm going to be using Nigeria as a case study, due to the fact that I studied in Nigeria, I practiced in Nigeria, before moving to the UK. And, sometimes we say this is a doctor
Sorry,
procedure.
I didn't
We
hear
don't
you.
want the midwives to do that. For example, suturing. If you are suturing, you can always call the doctors to come and suture. But back into, your midwifery career, if you followed your midwife's what am I going to say? Your midwife's handbook. If you read your job description, you will understand that all these little things like cannulation or suturing, they are one core part of a midwife's duty, because you can't do an home birth when the doctor is not there. And just allow the woman to be bleeding. That is not going to count as an adequate practice. Oh, Dorina, welcome. Thank you for joining us in from the Philippines. I hope you'll be able to join in and to give us your experience how midwifery is in the Philippines. So, like I said, midwifery, you need to know your skills. So if you are here on this live video, if you're here on this live video and you do not here on this live video, you don't know something, maybe your cannulation is bad, your communication skills is not there, please and please and please, to be able to get to the top of your midwifery career, I would advise you to learn all these skills. Welcome, Fidelia. Welcome, Fidelia. Can you hear me now?
I don't know what
Oh
happened.
my goodness. And it was good when we were doing the practice. Sorry, can you leave the live videos and let me add you again? Can you both leave the live video and let me add you
Okay.
again? Or request to join again. It's just blacking out. I don't know. Okay. Can you see me and can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to add her again. It's just, going off. Hello?
Hello, can you? Okay. All right.
Oh, we can't see you and it's giving us a bad feedback. We can't see you.
Okay, now.
Sorry, guys. We're just, trying to. Okay, yeah. It looks like it's
Okay.
coming
Can
up.
you see me now?
No, we are saying your camera is not faced to your face. It's faced outside your face.
Okay.
Can you turn it to
What do I
yourself?
do?
Your camera.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you for
All right.
joining us. Oh my goodness, I'm panicking a little bit. Okay,
Hey.
so I spoke we started speaking and talking about how midwifery is underrated in our countries and how to navigate, to the peak of your career. And I started by saying that you need to be skillful as a midwife to be able to get to that peak of your career. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know the basic skills. You need to know how to take delivery. You need to know how to protect the perineum. You need to know how to communicate with your patients. Before I even came to the UK, I always take it to myself. Like, even if every other person is not doing it, the change begins with you. You understand? Then you find out people making good comments like, oh, this midwife is nice. I'm not nice. I'm just doing my job. Like, that's my job. I'm just doing it. Do you understand? So I understand that sometimes it's very hard with the workload, the pressure, the lack of equipment that we have, but your presence, your professionalism, your skillfulness can actually take that 0% position to an 100% position. Because the way you attend to your patients, the way you attend to their family members would make that birth a memorable one for the patients. You understand? It's such a painful thing to be in labor, to be trying to, deliver your baby. And that's where midwives should come in and make the difference. This thing says from evidence to reality. We've seen it, that compassionate care, empathy care, helps these women to boost their confidence, to deliver safely, and also reduce the risk of having postpartum blues, postpartum depression, just because of how you attended to them. Do you understand? You would not remember that lady that you attended to, but the lady will forever remember you if you did well to her. Today, I saw the secretary for the trust. She came because we had a celebration for the midwife. She's like, oh my goodness, I remember my midwife that attended to me 26 years ago. I'm like, seriously, you remember your midwife? Wow. So that's how much impact you can make on someone. That's how much impact you can make in the relationship of a mother to child. Because if you don't attend to them, they might not even be alive to even attend to their children. Because unskillful attitude, that's why we send videos around about who is a midwife. The public needs to understand who is a midwife, not just go with any quack they see. I have a neighbor that we lost to postpartum hemorrhage because she went to deliver in the house of someone that just sells drug, not even a pharmacist, not even a midwife. Maybe she had delivered someone. What I tell people, if you don't even stay there, a baby is going to be delivered anyways. The baby will find its way out to life once the time is right. But what makes the difference is your professionalism, your skillfulness, because your ability to know when there is a problem, your ability to recognize complications and to escalate them, your ability to monitor this baby and know when they are deriving from the normal thing that we expect them to do. And that's what really makes us a midwife. So how would you be a midwife when you are not even skillful, when you don't know what to do, or when you don't know how to do it? If you are still less than 2 years of experience in midwifery, please take your time to learn. Take your time to learn. After I left school, I watched series of videos on YouTube on how to deliver babies, just to upgrade my skill on how to, make sure the perineum is intact, how to support the perineum, all these things in such a way that my skill is still remaining. Even if you don't understand, or even if you cannot do it, I will encourage you to ask your senior colleague. And this is when I'm going to bring Mrs. Oluchi here, to talk to us about, she's worked over 4 years, over 6 years, and she's working with students, and she enjoys to mentor students, to let us know how to navigate your midwifery career. What would you like to say to us? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, great midwives, and happy Midwives Day to all of you. Hope you enjoy the celebration of today. Well, I'm a midwife with over 8 years working experience. I think I worked under a matron for some years, after which I was posted to a place, a primary health care actually, to work. And from there to a general hospital where I was opportune to work. I'm working alone. The one taking deliveries. The nurses under me actually are not midwives, so they don't know much of midwifery. And also students are regularly posted to my maternity section because of the kind of training I get to give them when they come. I really engage them with skills, the antenatal skill. I make sure they do the booking right, the vital signs and the whole information. And I think these children are enjoying it. And I must say that those children are doing very great in their various places of primary assignment.
Wow.
Because I make sure I teach them the right thing to do, especially in the management of postpartum hemorrhage. All of them are very competent. As in, we don't lose any woman as a result of bleeding in my facility. If any woman died, maybe there is an, but it's not as a result of bleeding. We make sure we monitor them, and if there is anything that may lead to bleeding from antenatal, we make sure we discover it. So I think mentorship is part of a work of a midwife. Being able to mentor the student midwife until they are competent to work alone or work very well in a team. So I think midwives are actually placed with a burden of mentoring student midwife. And you can't mentor student midwife if you don't know the evidence behind every action which you take. The midwifery care. For instance, when you are taking history, we have evidence of taking scientific rationale there. The history will help you. If any problem should emerge in future, you will be able to go back to your history and know, okay, this patient has this before, so she may be disposed to this kind of problem. So everything has a rationale. Vaginal examination has, as you are doing it, you are checking for so many parameters. And also conducting labor, you should be able to assemble all your equipment and know what to do. Presentation, when you do and you feel something that is abnormal, like cord prolapse, you are able to take prompt action, escalate the concern, and call the other team so as to be able to save the mother and the baby. So I think being competent in midwifery is one of the vital skill every midwife should have in this present dispensation. If not, you will be irrelevant in
Oh,
midwifery.
oh,
So
well done, well done. That's like a bomb. Like if you are on this live video, or if you're going to watch this live video, later on, she has said it. If you are not competent in your midwifery career, you will become less. You'll be irrelevant. You'll be irrelevant because who wants to go to that midwife that cannot suture? Who wants to go to that midwife that doesn't know what to do when a BPH is happening? Who wants to go to that midwife that would give you like you are a butcher, like she's going to butcher your perineum? All these patients, what you just find out is that all these patients, they know themselves. You know, when you attend to them nicely, they are going to tell other people that, hey, is this nurse that should attend to you? Is this midwife that should attend to you? Because she knows what she's doing. You understand? And even your colleagues can see it. They know who is going to help them when they are on duty. They're not going to bring someone who does not have any meaningful contribution. For example, we know if we call nurse, oh, she's or midwife, oh, now she's going to say, hey, anything you say. That's what we should do. When someone asks, maybe the baby is stuck or they shoulder dystocia, and she cannot say, do bilateral episiotomy, let's, do the macrobirth. Even when the doctor is forgetting, let's do the macrobirth position, let's do this, let's do that. You are going to be irrelevant in your career. Moving me to the next point of mentorship. A lot of people get this wrong. There are a lot of misconception about mentorship. Mentorship is not until you open your mouth and tell someone that, can you mentor me? I have a lot of people coming to my DMs and saying, can you mentor me? Can you mentor me? Before I can personally accept to, mentor you, I have the responsibility, to look after you. So why should I mentor you? What are your reasons? I have over 100 midwives, that are following me, that maybe over 2,000 midwives, or let me just say 500 midwives that watch my videos every time I upload my videos on YouTube, and they want to be mentored by me. Can I mentor the whole 500 people? No. A lot of this Gen Z generation, we believe that until you say, I want you to mentor me, that is mentorship. No, that's not mentorship. Follow people that are doing well in your industry. I shared a video on my YouTube and I said, this is what changed my career. This is what changed my perspective about midwifery. And I encourage other people to do that too. What changed my career was that I saw other people that were doing it. Shout out to Tolu the midwife, Pregnancy Lounge, Julie Mogbo, Mrs. Olaleye Jumoke from last week. Those were the women I saw that were pioneering, midwifery when I started. These women, out of luck, let me say out of luck, I was able to meet with them. And because I knew the value of what I wanted, I followed through with them. I stayed with them. The one time I asked that, could you be my mentor? She asked me, you have to be committed. Then you have to pay a fee. And I was like, you know what? I don't have this money. But if they have any program, I attend. On their Instagram page, I'm there. On their Twitter pages, I'm there. I subscribe to their mailing list. I do, I follow them back to back because they are the one that, are paving the ways for me to follow. And when I posted that video, I went back to these women to tell them how grateful I was. Do you know, 2 out of 3 of them do not even remember me. So when people are making impacts in your life, you don't necessarily need to, bomb them with, oh, I want to be your mentor. Can you mentor me? This, that. Start out with, following everything they do. If they have a YouTube channel, watch their videos. If they have, courses, buy the courses and, subscribe to whatever they are doing so that you can gain, experience from them. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Mentorship does not necessarily mean the fancy mentorship kind of, oh, she's my mentor, I'm your mentor, this, that. Is what impact am I able to give to you? What impact are you able to get from me? Kudos to Matron Bajomo. This woman, when we were in as a student, she was one of the midwives that you saw her confidence. You saw the way she, commanded the word. Like when she's there, she's like, okay, this is what we are going to do. When there is an emergency, this is what we are going to do. I just stepped back and I said, oh my goodness, I love this woman. I want to be like, do you understand? And I tried to make sure that whenever she was on duty, I was volunteering so that I could learn from her. For example, Sister Oluchi here said something like that she mentors all these, student midwives. You as a student midwife, who are you learning from on the world? Are you learning from the people who say, don't do it, though, it's the doctor's procedures. Don't do that, though, you better leave it. You will not learn, you will not grow. In the first 2 years of your practice, you are serving, you are working, you are, you're trying to go reach that part of your career. In the first 2 years of your practice, you have no business with fighting with people. You have no business with, saying, oh, listen, you need to learn. You need to be humble to be able to learn. Because if you are not humble, you would not know what you need to know. I learn from everyone. I learn from my colleagues. I learn from students. I learn from everybody because we always need to learn from evidence to reality. What you are doing, what is the evidence? What's the evidence-based theory backing this thing up? A woman is delivering, you are giving her a slap on her lap. What is the evidence to what you're doing? Because someone told you that, hey, one woman was closing her leg on the baby, and when she gave her one slap on the thigh, she opened and she delivered the baby. What is your evidence? Are you following the bad wagons? Are you following the bad wagons to, do the bad things? Are you routinely giving episiotomy to women who do not need them? Do you need to up your game. You need to up your competencies. You can't just do things just because that is how it's done in this world. If you go to a word and they tell you that is how it's done, you need to challenge it. That is where a change begins with. And don't challenge it really. You don't challenge it anyhow. You come from a place of respect. When you challenge it and you ask someone, oh, so sorry, you said we should do this. What's the evidence behind it? They say, oh, that's how we should do it. You provide your own evidence and you work together. This is why it is evident that we should not, this is why it is evidence that we should not, we should not slap a woman. This is why it is evidence that, when you teach those women, they are ready to learn from you too. They are ready to learn from you too. So midwifery career is a very promising career that I believe that everyone will do so well when they know what they are doing. We've talked about competency, we've talked about mentorship, and now I will talk about making plans for yourself. What is your plan about your midwifery career? If you want to be a community midwife, you want to be in PHC, taking these deliveries, empowering these women, it's a nice plan to have. Go for it. How can you get better at that? If you want to, be going to the slums to deliver babies, to work there, how can you get better at that? I know the WHO made a recognition of a midwife that works in, I think it's in Borno. That was last year because of her selfless service. Selfless service. She's doing it for years without recognition, but they recognize that because she did not stop. Some of us, it is when our bosses are around, that's when we are good midwives. It is when that midwife that will tell you not to shout at a patient is there, that's when you talk to a patient nicely. No, you have to incorporate, because anything you start with now is going to, build the core of who you are in the later future. So please and please, for you to reach the peak of your career, you need to make a plan. That's why I purposely did not invite anyone from the UK, because being successful in your career is not just about traveling out. Being successful in your career, it is good. It is good to travel out, to the Western country, to learn their experience, learn their exposure. And I think one of the things I'm looking at in the nearest future is to be able to bring all the experience that, to see how we can implement some of these activities in our own maternal and health, our maternal and health services, to be able to, to incorporate all of that. So if you are traveling out, if it's something that you're passionate to, yes, please continue. If it's something you're passionate to do, please continue, and make sure it's, make sure it is aligning to your make sure it's aligning to your core values. Midwifery is not just about traveling out. There are lots of things you can do, even if you have not traveled. Thank God, birthylife is already online. Please, it's with the utmost pleasure I'm going to invite her here. Even at this point when she came through, this is the point when I said midwifery is not just about traveling out. This lady is a midwife that trained in the US. I think she's worked in the UK and she's now working in Nigeria. So when I say navigating your career is not just about traveling up, I think she has one or two things to say about that. So join me as I'm going to invite her now, to just start to enlighten us on how to navigate our career. Yeah. Please, I've sent you a request, Victoria. I've sent you a request. Oh, it's not coming through. can you send me a request, Victoria? It's not coming through. I don't know why. So, like I said, midwifery is not just about traveling out, ruling the world, and all of that. Midwifery is all about, doing what is best for yourself. I'm not going to tell you do not make waves in your career. Do not do that. Do not do this. Make waves for your career. I want you to be at the top of your career, but just make a plan. Be focused on how you want to get through that plan. You understand? Because I know that we are underpaid, underappreciated, where we are currently. Not everybody, not everybody will appreciate you, will appreciate the work you do. You understand? And to me personally, I felt like my personal goals, my future goals, to be able to get to that accelerated point in my career, I needed to get the global exposure, and that's why I have come to the UK. So even if you are in this career for the money, if you say compared to other professions like other people that go to school and they don't find job, how terrible African countries are. Compared to that, job security is a midwifery. You can do it till you retire. It's a good reason for you. If you want to do midwifery as a side hustle, good reason for you. But what I'm just going to tell you is to make sure what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. So I'm going to give chance to any other person that is currently on our live video that would like to join in, to add one or two things to what I've said. Just put in a request, and I'm going to bring you on here, to add one or two things to what I've already said. You can drop your comments too. Your comments will be highly appreciated if you are joining us. Your comments will be highly appreciated, please. Okay, let me just continue. So we've talked about competency, we've talked about mentorship, we've talked about having a plan. What I'm also going to say is progress academically. Wherever you are, try to progress academically, because there are people that make decisions. There are people that make decisions, and to be able to break through into those parts that make decision, you need to have some sort of qualification. If you have a PhD in midwifery, which by the grace of God I plan to have, when they are making contributions to how, or wherever you are, whether in Nigeria, in Africa, or even outside Africa, whenever they want to make decisions, you'll find out that you'll be one of the decision makers. They have to seek you because you have the professional knowledge, you have the academical knowledge to reach this post. So even if advancing academically is not one of the things on your list, do professional courses. Do professional courses that would allow you, to reach to that point where we get to the decision-making board. We need lots of midwives up there. We need midwives to move things. You can't just sit back and say, oh, things are not going well. Things are not going well with midwifery in my country. How would you change that? How would you change that? Because if you don't make that move now, in the next 10 years, you find out that it is still the same. It is still the same. So to be able to navigate our careers, we need to know what academical qualification we want to pursue and give opportunity. Even if you, for example, if I'm a 60-year-old woman and I cannot pursue that, why not encourage someone who you think is bright? Why not encourage that student midwife that you think is doing so well? Why not encourage that person that you see at your workplace and is doing so well, to say, have you thought about taking this as a specialty? Have you thought about doing this, That way, you are impacting them, because this midwifery, we have to drive it together to a point whereby even posterity would say we've tried. Someone is trying to join her. Oh, yay. I hope she just comes online. This is Midwife Victoria. Welcome, Nalongo. Welcome. I'm trying to accept the request. I don't know why it's not coming through. Oh my goodness, it's such, oh yeah, she's, yay.
Hi.
Well,
Happy International Day of the Midwife.
I wish you the same, my sister. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine too. I'm fine too. Thank you for joining our live. The network has been so bad since morning. Like we couldn't have everybody on board at the same time, so we had to like do it, differently. So we've been speaking about navigating our midwifery career from the evidence-based parts. We've talked about how to, bring the evidence to reality, because we've seen a lot of people doing things that are not even evidence-based practice, or things that should have been, that should have been phased out of midwifery just because we're in Africa and all of that. So what would you like to say to women who would, or to our midwives that would like to, reach the peak of their career, even in their own country, not having to migrate and all of that? What would you like to say to people?
Thank you so much. Not showing me. That's what you go by, right? Hello everybody. My name is Midwife Victoria, and right now I am in Nigeria. I studied in the US, and one thing I would like to say is that own your niche. I feel like midwifery is so special. It's so special that we get to care for families. We get to receive the baby first. I feel like we're so close to God because creation, like we get to see the baby first. We get to talk to baby first. It's just so beautiful. One thing I would say that I've learned when I was a student midwife in the US, I saw an opportunity and I went for it. And then I don't even think I thought about it as that. So I was trained as an out of the hospital midwife. So I attend birth outside the hospital to low risk, healthy women. And it's just so beautiful. And I saw that it became like a lot for the midwives practice I was working for to teach childbirth education, because we actually have like topics, like 2-3 topics we talk about at every visit. But then sometimes you're just so busy that you don't get to do that. It was a busy midwife practice. And so she would sometimes send them to other childbirth educators for them to go take, classes there, but because it became too much for her. And I was like, I think I can do this. I mean, in midwifery school, you learn how to do childbirth education. I think I can do this. And she told me, okay, go ahead and prepare something and let me see it. So I went ahead, prepared a whole like schedule, classes I want to teach. And then she made me teach it for free. I think I had 5 couples the 5 times. I taught a live childbirth education course for free. And it was, I was new, I was excited, I was passionate, and I taught it. And after that, she's like, they loved it. I can pay for it. And from there, I started teaching childbirth education, and I love it so much. I see that that's my niche. I love to teach women. So when you asked me that I should, share, what else can midwives do? I think find your niche. I feel like midwifery is so huge, it's so vast. Now I teach, I coach, I work as a midwife. And right now, I'm even a little bit into fertility, and it's just amazing, fascinating. So I don't get to just, be at the birth. I also get to coach people that, I will not be at the birth about pregnancy. I also get to be like a doula. A doula is like a coach, when you just help someone with the stress of pregnancy, teach them stuff. You are their one-stop place for anything. If they just want some professional they could talk to about their pregnancy, you could help them with that. And then I teach as well online, virtually. I do physical classes as well for couples. That's really what I like, when they can be there with their husband. And I have a whole course that I do with them. And it's just really, really special. It's also a ministry for me that I get to, be with these couples and share about how they could get ready for labor, birth, and even postpartum. One other thing is, I've seen couples have like difficult conversations that I think that might not have happened yet. I think they'll still probably have it in the future if they were not in class, if they didn't learn about these things.
Yeah.
For example, who should be there at their birth? Who do they want at their birth? That's where you hear the woman sometimes say, "Oh, no, I don't want your mom at my birth," and the husband is like, "But I want my mom to be at your birth." And then they'll have like a whole full-blown conversation, and I'm just there listening, like, "Okay, good. I want you guys to think and talk, like who should be there." And then when I come in, I just I'm on a neutral level and just support whatever decisions they make. But I'm glad my moms, my dads, they think about their birth. They also think postpartumly, who is going to be there for them, who is going to help them with dishes, who is going to bring food. They get to know, well, baby's gonna cry a lot. You might not have lots of time to sleep, eat, cook, keep your house clean. So get people on the train to kind of help you with that. So that's I feel like is my niche. And I think that midwives should go ahead, like you said, to learn as much as possible so that you can best serve these families. There are people that sell what is this thing called, birthing stuff, baby stuff, and that's like their niche, and people love them for that. Like some will even park it for them. There's a midwife in she's in, where is she, in Ghana, Midwife Sally. She's so popular here on social media, and she's just doing amazing. She teaches classes, she sells all this birthing stuff you need for your birth, and she ships it to women. And she's making her money, but she's also making a difference.
Yeah.
So please find something you're passionate about in the midwifery world. I'm sure there's a lot, and there are tons of it.
Yeah.
Finally, like I said, I just started fertility, and I'm learning so much. It's a little bit different from midwifery, because now I get to do
all that, because I've always wanted to, go into fertility. So we'll talk about that later.
Okay, sure. You said we should talk about that later?
No.
Okay, sure.
Personally asked you about, the fertility courses and all of that.
Okay, sure. And it's just so beautiful to see like couples that are not pregnant yet and what they're going through. And then when they achieve pregnancy, just the happiness. We had someone that 11 years they've been battling with infertility, and now they're pregnant, and it's just a joy. And I get to, when I take this fertility back to my midwifery and my teaching of classes, I have a deeper sense of awe of pregnancy. Like, you guys had sex and you're pregnant. Like, you didn't have to go to a fertility doctor or have to take anything. Like, it's a miracle. Like, appreciate it and love it and praise God and be thankful, because there are people that are struggling and they cannot get pregnant, and they have to do tons of things before they get pregnant. And so I'm just really thankful. I'm not sure what I will do with fertility in the future, but I just know that deepening your knowledge of medicine in general, of midwifery, of a little bit of nursing, there's so much. Let me even now go a little bit deeper and show me if that's okay.
Yeah, please go on.
Okay, so I'm thinking now of even nurses. Like, nursing is huge. Now you just can't be general nursing. You have to specialize, because it's so big. There are psychiatrist nurses, there are preoperative nurses, there are nurse midwives, there are the ones for babies. I don't know, pediatrics. Yes. They are
anesthetic nurses.
Yes. Keep them going so much. And so even nurses have so many niches that they can focus on, So I feel like midwives, of course, there's also so many things we can focus on. So my little advice today is that please learn as much as possible. Keep learning. Do not stay in one place. Expose yourself to a lot of things. We're in the age of technology. Study, learn online, and also expose yourself physically to things that can help you to be just better, round holistically. And then the last thing I would say is there's this lady, I don't know if you know her, we call her like the water bird guru. She found a whole niche. I forgot her name. She's so popular in the US, and she travels all around and teaches about water birth. That's a whole niche, and that's
You know,
a whole niche. So there's just so much.
Midwife that teaches tutoring, and people are paying her loads. She's earning for her trust. You know, she just specialized in suturing because she found out that she loved suturing. She knew about the anatomy of the anatomy of the pelvics and everything. And she, years on years on years, people pay thousands of pounds to attend the course. So, like so many things. That's why I'm so passionate about midwifery. I want other people to like do well, you know. I want to take other people on. And that's why I was like, can we just do something for this, you know, midwifery day to inspire people? You know, it's not overrated. When I tell people, seeing people doing things that you can do is not overrated. When I met you on YouTube, I was like, who is this midwife? I need to know her. Yeah, I need to know her. You know, when you sent me a message, I'm like, you're doing beautifully well. Went through all your videos. I'm like, I'm inspired by this lady. Like, I want to know more. Do you understand? It's not just about, you know, just being there. You can't just be there. You need to fulfill purpose. Even if the one thing you know is how to, you know, teach women to naturally induce their labor, you can work on that.
And be good at it and hone it
exactly.
and hone your craft, and everybody will come to learn from you.
What started as just an idea in 2020 to just, you know, talk to some few, you know, I saw that COVID was there. People were not getting antenatal classes, and I'm like, I'm going to start teaching people antenatal classes. I begged the first set of ladies to join my group. I'm like, I'm here. I went to PH early in the morning because I knew they were going to be outside. I said, I'm a midwife. I don't work here, but I want to teach you. This is it, this is that, this is that, this is that. And out of like 30 women I spoke to, 10 people joined. And from there, we have over 300 women on our antenatal group.
Amen.
So we just need to start somewhere. When people started asking me, oh, midwifery, could you migrate, all of that, I said, you know what? I can't answer everybody. Let me start a YouTube channel. Do you know my videos are now trending in India at the moment? Like, those are the people that watch video at the moment. So these things that, you know, these ideas that come to your mind when you are not doing anything is something you can, you know, you can revolve around. In the UK, it's so wide. We have the bereavement midwives, we have the, you know, diabetic specialists, we have the consultant midwives, we have the intrapartum midwives, we have the puppy midwife, we have the safeguarding team, we have the elective cesarean section midwives, we have the breastfeeding champion, we have the CTG fetal monitoring champion, we have practice development midwives, we have loads and loads and loads of people.
That's amazing. Wow.
Okay, you guys should tell me, oh, what can I do? You understand? So midwives should, you know, be able to see the world from a spare. You need to know that you are in this profession to make changes. The people that actually, you know, that actually inspired me a lot was just from a seminar. I saw this midwives, you know, Tolu the midwife, or I saw Pregnancy Lounge, what's her name? Mrs. Akishiku, and I saw what they were doing. I was like, oh, you mean a midwife can do all of this? And I was like, no way, I'm doing this, you understand? Like, I'm going to go there. Now you're seeing birthylife midwife, you're seeing me, you're seeing other people. I have a very good friend of mine, Aminu. She's very passionate about, you know, teaching academic, teaching. And, she started reviewing supporting statements for people trying to migrate. You understand? And when people now come to me, I refer them to her because I know she's good there. Let her go to them. Then when people need assistance with maybe, mentoring during pregnancy and all of that, she refers them to me because she knows that that is my niche. I won't be able to do everything. I might have an online presence and all of that. If people, for example, I know what to do. If I see someone that has the need, I can also refer them to you. You understand? So midwifery is a global, it's a global scale profession. I want us to take advantage of it. Thank you so much. If there's any other thing you want to say, please go ahead.
Thank you so much now showing me. Like, you are doing amazing. I got to know about you actually from a midwife, a new midwife that just finished school. And she was telling me she wanted to leave the country, and she's like, midwives can. And I was like, really? Because I trained somewhere else, so I didn't even know this whole thing about nurses and midwives moving to UK. And she's like, yeah, now show me, let me show you. And then she sent me your YouTube, and I went through the whole thing in one night. And I think I messaged you on Instagram or something like, hi, can we collaborate or something? So you are breaking boundaries, not showing me. Thank you so much for how you serve women, and on your platform on WhatsApp, on here on Instagram. I pray that God blesses you, the works of your hands, and just as you continue to make a difference, that you'll be known far and wide, and nations will come at your feet, and kings and queens. And just thank you for bringing all the midwives together today, that we can celebrate and share something to the world.
Thank you so much for, agreeing to do this at a short period of time. I really hope this is what we can do yearly. And I believe that maybe we could put more plans in place towards, next year, how to make it better, how to make it bigger. Thank you to everybody who has joined this live. Thank you, everybody. We hope to, continue to be in touch, to talk to us, how to, be that change that we want to see in our career. Thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye, not show me. Bye, everybody.